the next rant would either be the Christian Horner thing as well with all the F1 situation, and now Mohammed Ben Sulayem apparently being investigated for possible race manipulation as well, which is just getting insane, as Andrew Benson reported from the BBC. I think another one would also be this insane thing from the captain trying to introduce a set field again to the Indy 500. We all remember the 25-8 rule and how ridiculous that was as well. And to eliminate bump day and have set starters, I'm sorry, but it's just an absolute joke. I mean, I think Roger's got hold of the series and he's sort of gone, okay, how can I just make it slightly better and then completely crash and destroy it within every 5 seconds? So hopefully that doesn't happen. And if the teams have got their brains, they'll say, no, even though we run the risk of not running in the 500, to fundamentally mess again after we're just recovering what happened before under Tony George and all that, just keep it as it is and run that risk, because otherwise it's not the 500. It's just another round of the championship, and we've already lost the double points from that. Yes or no? It's just each year we're getting less and less. The Indy 500 is a bit more special in my books.
And again, I've been out of the loop today, but has anyone else's X been trending with Max to Mercedes? That's not a fake thing?
No, it's not. And that's the weird thing. Max could end up now at Mercedes, and we could see Alonso at Red Bull. I mean, and then Hamilton at Ferrari. It's just literally just swapsies. And there's another thing going around today as well that people saying, "Oh, Jos Verstappen, he's not going to be in Saudi Arabia after the comments he made to Christian Horner." Well, I'm hearing on one side he's been banned by Horner, and on the other side I'm hearing, "Oh, he's never supposed to be there. He was supposed to be in a rally." So it's just completely confusion. And we've got this weird situation going on with like a power grab at Red Bull. We've got then Stefano Domenicali coming in and not listening to the teams, not listening to the drivers, doing what he and Liberty thinks is best, not listening to the fans as well. And then we've got Mohammed Ben Sulayem coming in, just continually doing whatever he thinks is right, and everyone else is wrong. I mean, investigating the Wolves, every possible collusion, that never was. The sexist comments he's made over the years, now apparently race manipulation. I don't know what to think anymore. It seems like if you're the world champions, the commercial owners, or the sports, you are just deeply in trouble at the moment. So if I was Mercedes, Ferrari, and all the other teams, I'll just be keeping my head down and just letting everything else blow over, because they're in the best position right now to, when all those go, have a bit more control over Formula One. And I've got a feeling that Saudi's going to be at another level. We've seen one step of F1 craziness in the off-season. It rose in Bahrain. It's going to go through the roof in Saudi. There's a lot more to come.
Yeah, I saw the first time with no retirements in Formula One history with the opener. Crazy.
Yeah, first time in the opener that there were no retirements to start to see. Yeah, so
I should say lack of craziness, lack thereof.
Yeah, well, to that point, Brandon, for the lack of on-track drama with Verstappen winning by however many seconds he's going to win by, certainly no shortage of drama off the track with all these stories and everything, and rumors going on in the F1 paddock. Brandon, I know you were asking, right when I logged on, I think maybe referencing a tweet that I made, talking about, for the first time in several years now, like actually looking forward to the NASCAR races on Sunday afternoons and genuinely enjoying the quality of the racing that we're seeing. It is kind of wild considering where I was personally on my racing journey just 2 or 3 years ago. But it's gotten to the point where you basically know from the start. I mean, Joe's got our grid office dog Kiska, for crying out loud. She's on the pickle winner board, just going to pick Max Verstappen every weekend because why not? And could end up with over 20, maybe even the full 24 points this year with how predictable it seems to become. Whereas NASCAR really seems to have hit on something with the next-gen car in the mile and a half. So racing there is as good as we've ever seen. Obviously, we had a great race at Atlanta with the Cup Series, the closest 1-2-3 finish, I think, in any form of motorsport ever, as far as we know. So, NASCAR really seems to be hitting on all cylinders right now. Will that last? I'm not so sure, because I get very frustrated when NBC takes over and it's nothing but cut line conversation there, and the playoffs come back. I'm sure my frustration will come back with the championship system and everything. But in terms of the actual racing right now, I think they've got a great product. I think IndyCar is in a world of trouble with their off-track drama and issues as well from the business side of things. And obviously, Formula One just has not a ton going for it right now on the track, and a lot of not so good things going for it off the track right now as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see the future of all three of those series, which one ends up retaining the most interest among the American audiences. Because, Josh, the point you were making earlier, if they bring a charter system and guaranteed entries to the IndyCar series and the Indianapolis 500, I can tell you, just for me personally, that is a massive, massive turnoff for me, because that is the one race, one major race at the very least around the world, that still holds true to earning your way in. It doesn't matter if you're Scott Dixon and a multi-time champion and a former winner of the race. You have to come back every year and prove that you belong, and he usually does, because he's usually on the pole or pretty close to it, but that doesn't give him a free pass when he comes back next year, and it's the same for everybody, and that's how it should be.
Yeah, this is how much I would want to keep. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
I was going to say about Graham Rahal last year. He didn't deserve to be there. And
there you go. Bump Day is undefeated, and he wouldn't have been there had it not been for Stephen Wilson's injury, unfortunately, and that's the only reason he got back in the race. But whether it's Hinchcliffe in 18 or Alonso in 19, I mean, the drama is part of what makes the weekend. Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, this is how much I'd want to keep Bump Day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. They could put up lights and have it in prime time if that means they'll keep a true Bump Day. I mean, that's how much they can't afford to lose that event.
I've always said for a while they should run a second, maybe not a 500-mile race, but a second race at Indy under the lights later on in the year. I think that's a good one. Maybe, we know we all said it didn't really want a finale on the street circuit. We got our wish. It's moved to Nashville Super Speedway. I think that's great. But I've always said we have the Indy 500, and then maybe at the end of the year we run maybe two races, like the Indy 200s. So each day, so that makes up 400 miles across 2 days, and we run it at night on the Brickyard. I think that's a whole different spectacle to try and look at. I think it gets quite an interesting little mark to end the season like that. And then you sort of get like the best of both worlds. Or maybe just run the NASCAR race at night there. Don't know.
Yeah, well, but you can stay tuned for the return of the Brickyard 400 this year, finally back on the oval where it belongs there. So, yeah, I think that's an interesting concept you present there, Josh. I think the traditionalist would probably respond by saying maybe having more than one race in the oval per year takes away from the spectacle that
run
is
it the other way.
Well, there you go. That would certainly be very interesting. But there is one race that belongs to the oval that we still don't have, and that's the Freedom 100. So let's get back to saving that. Although, unfortunately, I think that might be wishful thinking at this point. If Marshall Pruitt's latest racer mailbag is anything to go by, he doesn't sound so confident that we're going to see that race again anytime in the near future, at least, which is unfortunate, because I think, you want to talk about a close spread between the top three or the top four. That 2013 finish still, it just blows my mind how they came across the line like that 4 wide. But that's something that I would certainly love to see come back for, again, Indy Next, a series that we cover here on this show. It's unfortunate that those young drivers aren't getting a chance to compete at the IMS Oval. Yeah,
we're finally getting Indy Next in the Oval, and that's only because IndyCar was pushed in a corner with the new Titan Stadium.
Yeah,
I think if that wouldn't happen, that wasn't on their planned calendar.
How brilliant was that? Just the stadium. Thank you. Be built for the next 10, 20 years. I'd rather have it out of Super Speedway. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, and Josh, you missed it. I thought they moved the configuration of the Music City Grand Prix because they would be out of the way of the construction. But I guess they're still too close. They want to go across the bridge still, which is the whole appeal of it. But I was hoping that they
Dolly Parton had to go. Move it to a speedway, or she won't sing. Dolly Parton had to go. Move it to a speedway, or I won't sing.
Yeah.